You remember what silence actually felt like. Not the silence you manufacture now with noise-canceling headphones, but real silence, the kind that existed before the world decided every empty moment needed to be filled. You grew up in it, and somehow that changed everything about who you are. You were born into an analog world that nobody thought to document. Your childhood had no highlight reel. The embarrassing moments, the long summer afternoons, the hours you spent rewinding a cassette tape with a pencil, none of it was photographed, tagged, or saved. It simply happened, and then it lived only in the soft, unreliable space of memory. That's where you still keep most of yourself. You learned patience the way no generation after you ever had to. Waiting for a song to come on the radio. Waiting to find out if your friend would actually show up. Waiting for a dial-up connection to load a single image, one agonizing pixel at a time. You didn't complain. You just waited. Then something shifted. The world you grew up in didn't gradually evolve. It broke apart and reassembled into something unrecognizable. Practically overnight, you were suddenly expected to have an email address, a profile, a presence. And here's the strange part. You adapted. Not reluctantly, not awkwardly. You just did it, the same way you once figured out which buttons to press on a VCR without reading the manual. But here's what most people miss about you entirely. You carry two completely different operating systems inside you at once. One is analog, slow, tactile, rooted in patience and physical presence. The other is digital, fast, networked, fluent, in a language that didn't exist during your childhood. Most people live fully in one world or the other. You have never had that luxury. You translate between them constantly, and you don't even notice you're doing it anymore. Researchers have found that people who live through major technological transitions in early adulthood develop a cognitive flexibility that simply doesn't appear in other generations. Your brain didn't just learn new tools, it rewired itself around the concept of change itself. You can sit in a quiet room without anxiety. You can also manage 17 browser tabs without losing focus. You remember phone numbers. You also know every shortcut in your phone. These are not contradictions. They are proof of something. You are the only generation that genuinely understands what was lost when the world went digital because you actually lived in what came before, and you didn't mourn it endlessly. You carried it forward. That quiet patience, that tolerance for uncertainty, that ability to find meaning in slow and simple things. You brought all of it into a world that desperately needed it and didn't know how to ask. You were never between two worlds. You were built to hold both.